Got that in play. Steve, you're gonna need to share your video. I mean, are you gonna need to share your screen for anything? I'll turn it on just in case you got anything. All right, what's up? What's up? What's up? We back at it again, episode 30, Connect Wednesdays. You know, it's been a little we had a little absence from y'all, but we definitely missed y'all. We've been in the kitchen cooking up, working on something real impactful for the people, man. It's called The Plan. But you know, we'll dive into that at another time. But I just wanted you guys to you know, we just wanted to touch bases with everybody. There's a lot of moving parts that's been going on in the space right now. And, you know, we already told you guys this has been going on. So the I told you so tour ensues. Um, everything is happening just as we've said it. You know, we've prepared you guys, a lot of you guys who've been with us for a while. We've prepared you guys for these moments. So it's really, you know, nothing new to you guys. It's just, you know, another news story. But I want to make sure that everybody that is with us now, including the newbies, and you know, we had some new blood that came into the community. We just want to make sure everybody else is up to speed, let you guys know what's going on, and you know, just show you guys how we do Connect Wednesdays. Steve, before I get started, did you want to talk to the people real quick?
Yeah, give me a second real quick.
All right, bet. I'm get my screens together real quick.
All right. Just moving over to the desktop.
Okay.
If you can get started with them, then I'll jump in.
All right, bet. Y'all sound off in the chat too, man. We miss y'all, man. Y'all sound off, man. I got to make sure, I got to check y'all posts, make sure y'all still alive, y'all still with us. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna dive in. Kiara T, Yolanda, what's up, y'all?
Recording in progress.
All right, I'm good. Oh, we got the old clan back.
Yeah, man, that's what I like to see. Y'all do me a favor, drop a one in the chat if y'all can see my screen right now. All right, bet. So nah, man, we good, man. We still rocking, man. We at it. We've been cooking up, man, for everybody. We gearing up for this plan we about to drop, man. So
and listen, we've been dropping those 30-minute segments on you guys too. So there's been a lot of information on those. We touched on everything crypto. That's kind of our new flow. That 2-3 hour back and forth stuff is it gets a little tiring sometimes. So
yeah. All right. So I want to dive into this real quick. This was powerful, right? Before we get started into a lot of the chaos that was going on, this is going to lead to why we've been presenting you guys with the whole pre-IPO situation with Ripple and on the Link2 platform. So Ripple just acquired a crypto custody provider. It's called Matako for $250 million. It could be Medico, Matako. So forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. But this is huge right here. And what this is this is what is going to kind of transit crypto from a lot of it being centered around the retail investor, which is the everyday person, you and I. And it's going to show you guys how powerful it's going to be and how necessary it's going to be when you have institutional guys who are going to come in and they're going to toss around trillions and billions of dollars. They're estimating by 2030 that the custody market for crypto on the institutional side is going to be 10 trillion by 2030. So, just to put that into perspective, that's 3x the all-time high of what the crypto market cap was. We only touched 3 trillion, and you've seen what the market did. You've seen what Bitcoin was able to kind of touch, 70, almost a 70K Bitcoin. And when we have these institutional guys that come in and they start to realize it's all going to be about use case and utility, and a lot of these projects are what is going to be the focus of where these institutional guys put their money at, especially once we get regulatory clarity. You guys are going to see how much these crypto projects that we've been giving you guys are going to appreciate. So this right here, first and foremost, right out the gate, super, super powerful. Do not be swayed by what's going on with these SEC lawsuits, these crypto exchanges getting halted and shut down and sued. Listen, this is all part of what we told you guys. We just laid it out for you months and months ago. We let you guys know that this was going to occur. But after they continue their attacks, a lot of this stuff is just going to be distractions and diversions, from the main show. So either you're going to be in the game and in the space and invested, properly positioned, or you're going to be on the sidelines and you're going to be priced out when these things materialize.
Champ, drop that link in the chat for them too.
I got you. Right here, ready.
And there's not too many companies with strong balance sheets right now, guys. So this is a testament to what's happening on that side. I spoke to one of my reps over there this week. I make it a thing to call him like at least once a month, just to shoot the breeze. So he was telling me, he was like, listen, the institutional guys are looking deeply and they're buying right now, right? He was like, before Link2 was mainly, for kind of retail investors, lower entries, but he says they're in there. And I want to say they had about 50,000 Ripple shares left for sale. So, and they've sold out in the past, and they end up acquiring a little bit more. But at present time, I want to say it was like $48. It went down to like 22. So there was a whole bunch of buying entries into it. And you figure as the stock market, and a lot of companies aren't making their quarterly numbers, their stock prices are going down as Ripple is increasing, right? So this is the information that you won't get from Master Investor and all these guys that just do the stock thing. And I got to call him out on it because he keeps trying to dabble in this space here, and he's not that he's not doing it correctly, but he just doesn't know enough. And he has a huge following that's really impressionable. And believes everything he says, right? This guy's, these fundamental guys just study history and charting, right? And if they don't have data, they don't have intuition.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So they can't, they won't allow themselves to research or do deep dives on things that didn't hit the stock exchange or that this billionaire is not, accustomed to. So it's like they're conditioned and they're being groomed the same way. So I don't care how big these guys get, they're going to be just like the rest of the other guys. Right, stuck on institution, not looking at the things that really do matter, being able to push a generation in finance and having them follow like JP Morgan Chase's. That ain't the vibe, man. Yeah. Knowing what I know about those companies and the sort of destruction that they create around us, the never letting us have access to capital the proper way, no matter how good our credit score was, whatever the case is. There's never inclusion with those guys. And then once in a while, they'll do a little George Floyd thing, or they'll go, sponsor such and such. But that's only really just a poach. And I'm fed up with what I'm seeing out there too. That slutty vegan situation, same shit. She's just McDonald's for the hood. That soy is not it, guys. Yeah. So I'm watching guys that are getting paid to sell nonsense, man. It's like Kramer 2.0s. Like, I'm tired of it. So listen, we're on the cutting edge of a lot of things. Even Ripple, I'm tired of them dudes with the centralized ways and all things that's going to be attached to this. But it's like, yo, what do we do at this point now? You know what I'm saying? You stuck between a rock and a hard place. These guys are working with the Bank of International Settlements now, right? The higher ups, and we're not even talking about Gary and them. They don't have no pull. You know, when you start to look at the committees that are behind these people, and you start to see like, and I'll drop her name in there a little bit later, but you know, you got people behind the scenes that are like, listen, there should be no banks in the United States. And they're dead set on that. So this regional tax situation that you're seeing right now is so much easier to just keep the big five in and push the CBDC. There won't be any pushback at that point, right? But if we have options from other sectors, other banking sectors that are not signing on to it because it's optional, then we could always have access to free capital, right? So this is how I know that they're not in a position to want to even make this market decentralized. Yeah. So Hotbit, and this is crazy because it's probably one of the longest exchanges that I've had, right? I'm talking about I had XRP sitting over there before, you know, and that's like the last of the Mohegan of like championized generation coming into this, like the 14 guys, 15. So I'm looking at the whole situation and I'm like, this is crazy. So the CEO, what he said was, he was like, listen, at this point, there's nothing we can do. There's no room in the crypto space for centralized exchanges, right? It was never even supposed to be centralized. So you just let the first set of bandits come in that's able to just create their own rules. KuCoin, Binance, they're all trading against us every day. Every day. We're exit liquidity. They see too much going. I've seen so many flash spikes going both ways. It's them. They manipulating the entire market. So I'm not mad at Gary Gensler for this situation. It's like, yo, we're going to keep getting beat up, right? There's not going to be any advancement. So fuck it. We told you already in this exact order. You know what I'm saying? When you start to see the stable coin regulations coming in and that tether crashes, just know all systems are up right now. And that's happening now. Because if FedNow is dropping in July, attack on Zelle, attack on Venmo, attack on PayPal. What they just told everybody the other day, take your money out of those particular fintech companies. So now all of a sudden there's these cyber attacks that are happening. Where do we put our money? Apple comes out with a high yield savings situation, $1 billion in less than 7 days.
And they can't
access the withdrawals. Where do we put our money? You see what I'm saying? When we're talking about the most powerful technology ever in modern day, the AI is a little crazy too. That's another topic for another day. But we're talking about the most powerful piece of technology that's out there right now. So you telling me that Bitcoin gets a pass? There's no way. It's the most decentralized product on the market. One of the most decentralized product on the market. So how are they getting that pass? Just think about it. That's the back door that we talk about, right? If that thing stays around, that's the back door we talk about, where people could just on and off ramp. And then because there's so much institutional and bigwigs, right? Because you guys got to take the United States out the equation. There's a whole world out there that's already adopting this technology, right? You're watching the same type of fight, guys. The exact same thing we saw happen in Italy with the virus coming over here is the same thing we're seeing in these countries with these bank runs. Yeah, not serious about this shit. Oh, it can't happen here. Okay, bank after bank after bank. Oh, there's no recession. Bank after bank after bank. Every single bank has more out than they have in. It's simple math, guys. You look at the debt in the country, not just the country's bills, just ours as individuals, right? All this capital raise. Why are the banks giving away all this money right now? Think about it. Why are they doing this? This is the last grab right here.
That's it.
It's all bad debt at this point. So yeah, go get the money and go figure out what to do with it quick. But I'm telling you, all this shit is about, all systems are about to change right now. And what mostly bothers me is that we told you guys this situation, right? In the exact order that is happening right now, right? And I'm noticing, guys, and this ain't about the membership. I misquoted, so I'll fix that again, but I'm just fixing it here. It's more about the time and market, because anytime the market goes red, that's when you're supposed to be studying the most, right? But what do people do? I got guys selling. I have guys selling right now, panic selling, because of Binance
and Coinbase tripping.
one of the reasons why I wanted to put this university together and teach people the knowledge, not give them the knowledge, because we tried that already. It wouldn't have been believable if you didn't dig in for yourself, right? I always said we could be one of the biggest, just call it a hedge fund, but we got to rename that and reclassify it, right? So we're just talking about a bunch of people who took a chance and an opportunity, right? And I'm going to say everybody came on 15, because no matter what year you came into crypto with Champ and I, you had time in the market,
right?
So you've been here since 15 with us, right? So every entry that we gave from last year till now is actually a little bit higher, right? So when we told you about XRP last year, during that whole lawsuit, XRP was sitting at 21 cents, 22 cents, 23 cents. Understand, right? This is less than a year ago. So because the SEC is turning it up, so once you bring the two biggest exchanges in, right? Because they've been suing these guys, right? This isn't nothing new. So now I'm telling you the reason why you have to go a little bit deeper is I know it's not those two, right? So what happened to FTX? What happened to that whole story? You following, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they uncover from the FTX situation tells you exactly what's been happening in all these centralized situations right now. But the problem is when they started to follow the numbers, right? Because we're on a blockchain, these guys have to off-ramp the money, right? All roads are leading back to the institutional guys, the very guys who were saying, yo, crypto's bad, crypto's this. These are the guys that were lending money to FTX, right? So you telling me the smartest guys in the room didn't see this kid coming? We've been called it. Any system that's centralized in crypto right now, they're all frauding. Every single last one of them. None of it is real for the most part, guys. Champ and I stood on it. We told you, listen, the NFT market, we were the only ones at that time. People were coming and going. They're like, nah, Steve, I need to know this NFT. This is where the money's at. I keep telling y'all, I keep chasing this money that doesn't exist. It's not going to just magically show up.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I'm more frustrated by the amount of phone calls I got last week with people that's been scammed out of Bitcoin scams. I'm like, yo, what are y'all thinking about right now? So this is a sign of the times right now because people are desperate. They'll fall for anything. So it's just a call, man. Just get the group back. Let's start doing the smart work again that we used to do. That's what I'm more bummed about. It's like, what are y'all working on? Let me know. Because I'm asking those questions every other week. I'm like, listen, all this money out here, what's everybody investing in? Because I want to know. Because I'm analyzing real estate deals and I'm like, please, this ain't it.
Facts.
So can somebody chime in, unmute everybody? Where y'all getting y'all money from right now? And not the 9-to-5ers, right?
Well, let me
Not
shut up then.
9-to-5ers, but just guys who are entrepreneurs right now. Where is your bread and butter coming from?
Acquisitions, bro.
This is where it's at. You're buying. So I'm glad you're on here, Twitty. And this is one of the, I'm actually spending more of my time researching less real estate and more, I'm watching the baby boomers. They're trying to offload everything, right? So when you say acquisition, Twitty, are you talking, is this distress purchases?
No. I mean, it's so much out there right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I work with a brokerage, so we really don't work with distress stuff. We work with the cream of the top of the line stuff.
Right.
But the group that I work with in private equity and stuff, we're working on buying up as many wealth management firms, financial management firms like that. So that's one of the things, as well as servicing anything in the service industry that could eventually turn into AI. Like if you think about because I know a buyer right now who's basically looking to buy up as many like landscaping businesses as possible because they have, a robot lawnmower. So, stuff like that. So you guys got to think about, technology built in with basically essential services, plus figuring out how to get in with the people who, got the money. Because it's really, it seems like in the next 5-10 years, it's going to be an asset class and a poor class. It's not going to be no middle class, because everything like with the houses and stuff, everybody that's buying houses for the most part that's got money, they just rent them out. They're not trying to flip them. They'll go hold on to them and rent them out. So, the biggest thing right now is to get as many assets as you can. Of course, I mean, real estate is still good, but you just got to, it's a long-term play. So, whatever you can get that's cash flowing and that should be good, for the long term is really, where the focus should be.
So this is the reason why it's imperative that we stay connected. You feel me? I'm using this new technology, this AI situation. It's disconnecting you from people now, right? I don't need my copywriter. I don't need a graphic designer. I don't need anyone anymore. So the last couple of weeks, I've been intentional on not buying from Amazon and going to actual stores, right? So I needed some fertilizer and I saw it on Amazon, just checking the price. And then I'm looking locally for it. It's about 25 minutes out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing this all last week. And I'm like, the one thing that I got from it all, one is I got my stuff. Two, the conversations that you have with people about things, right? So Twitty bringing that up is that's a good point and a good segue for where we should be looking, right? This is a guy that's in the group every day, but because we're not, and I have to do a better job bridging and starting these conversations, right? He's sitting on information that's gold. I mean, just think about it right now. Most of these baby boomers that are looking to sell cannot fathom the changes that are about to happen in their industry. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those like, no, we'll never have cars, right? The old guy on the horse. No, cars, we'll never fly planes. And then the old guy sitting back. You see the trend right now? It's just a new day. Yep. I don't want to be that guy caught between a rock and a hard place, stuck in his old ways. And I'm not. I'm an innovator. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been way past all this. But this is the first time in history where I'm like, oh shit, I'm a little bit behind. I didn't think AI was going to drop before crypto. I not, the distance between the two now, I'm like, oh shit. Wow. So in speaking to Link to with the Ripple case, guys, no one that is going to lose a case, because them losing the case is going to cost them so much money in fines, right? That's the loss. It ain't no big deal. Nobody's going to jail. Mm-hmm. You're not going to acquire a company for 250 million, right? This wasn't even a distressed company either. This is just what Ripple's doing. And if you listen to Brad's old interviews where JP was trying to get 80% of the company, he's like, listen, we're going to be the ones buying companies in the future, in the not so distant future. Right? He said it. So when you look at these how these companies are performing right now, the market's down, all these tech companies are just on the way out, right? All the failing banks were tied to tech companies. So where's it going? I tell everybody, listen, if these companies don't have any sort of blockchain or crypto integration looming, just look for another job, guys. Mm-hmm. They're going to get swallowed. God, so you messed me up with that one, man. I thought I had just about everything covered. I didn't even think about that. But you got to be sitting on a lot of cash to pull off something like this, right? Do they have this technology ready to go? I did see the ports automated though. The ports have all robots now.
And now the Ripple just one of their partners just did the same thing, and they just rolled this out on the 5th, 2 days ago, which was Monday. They're doing inside warehouses, they're doing automated palletization. So for your forklift operators and all that good stuff, it's robots it's all software. Literally turn it on, press a button, they literally pick up pallets from coordinates all day. Pick up here, drop here, move here, pick these three up, move here to the loading dock. And it's all AI, everything.
And listen, with that technology comes a need for data storage, right? You can't have any of that stuff without blockchain technology.
Right.
So when you look at Walmart, and who would have known how old Walmart's system is? It takes them over 24 hours to find a piece of item, the location of it somewhere. 24, right? VeChain is crushing Walmart China right now. Tens of thousands in seconds. Right? And then I start to see like the healthcare industry coming behind it, then the pharmaceutical. And I'm like, oh shit, here they go. So there's two sides to it. It's a tracking system, guys. Right? This ain't one of those whatever. They're getting ready for this digital world, the digital passport, the digital that. And the more and more I go to the stores and interact, right? Because you never realize how slow the system is until you're really out every day making transactions with people. And I'm talking about, I go to gardeners, I go to farmers, I'm going to like local places. These people ain't up on it at all.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, turn your card around, blow on it, them type of people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there like, yo, the systems are slow. That ain't it.
Right.
And then you see the retailers, like I went to Zara the other day, and it's like, yo, drop this in the bin. Everything was instantly scanned. I don't know how. And then you taking off your security and then you out the door. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm paying more attention to, and please, guys, if you do it, like give Amazon a break. If you can buy it locally, just buy it locally. You know, because he ain't gonna do nothing but automate his situation and now what?
Push
You know
more.
what I mean, we have the power to like really dictate what these guys do with their business and how they do it.
Hey Steve, I'll be trying to do the same thing that you talking about. Like, you know, just sometimes you just want to go into a real store, run in there and grab it real quick. And I noticed that some of these stores, like they have less stock, like a lot less thing. Like you have to go online to get certain things or whatever the case may be. It's like the brick and mortar is just there just for show at this point with certain stores. It's crazy.
Yep.
And to your point about the acquisitions earlier, that's like the third time I heard that this week. Like from, you know, people who's like really in the know, whatever the case may be. So y'all definitely on the right path. Like I just have no clue how to even really go about it, go down that road.
I mean, just think about it. There's probably a middle ground too. And Twitter, you could chime in on this, right? So if landscaping is in hot demand, right, and you can get a couple distressed ones right now, is there a resale market? Like, are you guys paying freight based on current numbers, or is it just one of those? Yeah, you're saying it's not distressed. So are these companies actually making money on the books right now?
Yeah, I mean, because again, like I said, I'm a business broker. That's like, you know, that's what I do. So,
Right.
you know, as a broker, you know, I'm trying to sell the top stuffs. But at the end of the day, there's also businesses that don't sell and they just go out of business. So you got to think about all those assets that they're gonna sell. You know, another thing to think about is, you know, like audiences and stuff like that. You know, people are selling Instagram pages, you know, stuff like that. You know, if you're trying to start a business, it's much better to just buy an audience as opposed to try to build one from scratch, you know, things like that. So you just got to think strategically, you know, around, you know, what you're really trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, like you got to think asset based, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, because if say for instance a landscaping company is going out of business and they're not doing good, a broker won't take them on and won't spend their time trying to find them a buyer. Okay, well, they just gonna go out of business because their kids don't want to be, you know, cut grass and chop down trees and stuff like that. So all right, what happens to all that equipment? Well, they're gonna liquidate it somehow. So, you know, that there's a market for that. So you could buy, you know, stuff cheap and then flip it somewhere else. You know, that's one thing. Or you could, you know, start a business and it's pick success. Just so many things. You just gotta think strategically when it comes to that. But you know, it's so much money out there. You know, we just got to get outside of our immediate circle so much, you know, to realize that. And that's one of the things I've learned over the past 2 years. You know, kind of, you know, learning this industry and being a part of it is just like the money is out there. It's just like it probably ain't in our families. It probably ain't in our close circle. But we need to figure out how to network and get out there and, you know, get out of these bubbles and, you know, thinking everything racist and go get the money.
How'd you find those deals though, man?
I work with people who send me the deals. Like I'm in the net. My network gives me the deals. I'm a business broker. So I get leads every day from people that are trying to sell their business. And my job is to sift through and find the best ones that we can sell, you know, and basically, you know, get 10, 15% equity in their business as soon as they sign the listing contract. So it's a process, man. It's a lot that goes into it. And like I said, you see I dropped 2 links in there that's two links to my mentor, the guy, that's the owner of the brokerage I work with. Black dude, been in the business for over 20 years. You can check out his YouTube as well when y'all click on the links. So, but yeah, feel free. I'll drop my email in the chat as well if y'all want to, chop it up sometime. But I appreciate everybody shooting me some DMs. I'm gonna be in Atlanta next week, and I definitely want to catch up with my brother that's hitting me up. So yeah.
Well, let's do it.
I appreciate those links. So listen, I'm gonna leave y'all in chat.
Well, what's that website, Buy Bit Sell?
Yeah, that's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's basically the main source of businesses. So you can go in there and go through. That's one thing. Obviously, if you go to Shopify, things like that, you get the e-commerce stores. So it's so many things out there. It's just, again, this has not been a primary thing for Black America. Most of us Black here, whatever it is, Cause so basically for the last couple of years, the side hustle has been what? Trading, Turo, Airbnb, stuff like that. Like what's hot on social media, you know what I mean? So we got to think what does Goldman Sachs do? Well, they're an intermediary. All they are is a middleman. So, think about what the billionaires are doing, not what the millionaires are doing. You study the billionaires, you make millions. You study the millionaires, you make hundreds of thousands. So start at the top. What's the largest companies in the world doing? How did Apple get so big? How did Google get so big? How did Amazon get so big? How did Disney get so big? By buying up all these companies. So that's just what I've been focused on and been learning over the past year or so. And it's a huge industry, and I still got a ton of stuff to learn. I done made a little bit of money, but I'm just getting started myself. So yeah, y'all can hit me up if y'all got questions for sure.
It's crazy. My fault, I didn't mean to cut you off. I literally just seen an interview with your mentor the other day. That's that was super random. But,
yeah, he's a good dude, man. It's completely real. I done been a part of that work for over a year. Been in the presence, ain't no BS, official. So check it out. Shoot me a message if y'all got questions.
So here's where I struggle with a lot of this stuff, right? With this AI, right? And I'm gonna give you a problem, and then I'm gonna give you a solution to what I do. So I watch Amazon literally destroy retail as we know it, right? And I'm a retail guy at heart. I love retail. All my early situations have always been retail. And then when I look back, the common thread between all my products is really just people at the end of the day, right? That interaction with them young kids from downtown Brooklyn, that interaction with those Italians from Providence, Rhode Island, right? So I was able to gain so much just information just by talking to people, right? Because I had a product and they were customers, but then they turned into just loyal, damn near family members at that point. So this is why I call bullshit on a lot of automation stuff that's happening. All right, cool, go get your money, right? Cut all the grass in the world, clean all the bathrooms, get rid of people, right? Get rid of people, right? This is what we want. So now when we ain't got nowhere to go to work, because we got to be behind a computer all day, where is the human interaction?
Yeah.
Because that's the transaction. That's the energy. That's the currency in it. They go pick up a box from outside your door. Dudes is idiots. My door goes out. They block at the center of the door. So it's a whole bunch of shit with them guys. They in peeking, looking in your window. That's a weird interaction. You know what I'm saying? The DoorDash people, when they come to your door, you're looking at them, you're like, know about this one. This was before they were putting stickers on stuff. I was like, they gotta do something better.
Word.
Remember that bag used to just come open. I'm like, it's dumb. So this is where I kind of call bullshit on this new innovation that's happening right now. Do you really want to be that guy who just automated something and just got rid of a whole slew, a generation of my kids may not know what it's like to work inside of a store. That's some bullshit, right? So, okay, so what do you replace it with? There's some people in here that are saying that AI is going to replace them in the tech world. We all know that's coming. Look at cryptocurrency, and I'm going to speak specifically about the Helium project because I have an antenna sitting outside my house right now. I'm accumulating about 21,000 mobile tokens right now. And I'm also getting the Internet of Things. So when you start looking at that, what's in that Solana ecosystem with Helium and what they're building, what's going to need And it's kind of twofold, right? Because I'm still kind of invested in the bullshit anyway. Right. But what I'm doing here is you have a decentralized way for all of us to make money. So there's a difference, right? There's one guy that's eliminating a whole industry because he's got robots. Great. And then there's another industry that's in that says, listen, these people could sell data from their phone or unused data on their computer to call it a node. And from there, you're still making currency, right? But it relies on people, not one central system who's just paying shareholders. So this is why I love cryptocurrency. Right. So as I'm accumulating these tokens right here, I'm also allowing this company to sell data to some of the biggest cellular providers in the world right now, because there's a shortage of it. You tracking me? That's going to be a huge business, guys. The Internet of Things. You think about every camera that's looking at us, every street light, everything is about to be upgraded. And there's going to be things that you're not even seeing that you will see because of a device that you have. It's all going to need data. Who's paying for that data? That's not going on those cell phone companies' bill. You know what I'm saying? There's communities of nodes being built out specifically for this, and we are not paying attention to that market because it's not socially popular, like Twitty said. Right? This is why I be killing. Every chance I get, I kill Turo. Every chance I get, I kill Airbnb because I'm like, yo, nah. When they decide that industry's over, it's over. And I see it already. Cities want to take back. It's about to be 15-minute cities in a second. So a lot of those models ain't going to work because for 15 minutes, you don't need to rent a car. Think about it. And when I say certain things are dead and people look at me, I'm just like, no, I'm looking a little further out, guys. We can't think we're not going to live for another 20 years. Look how fast artificial intelligence has moved. It hasn't even been a year. It hasn't even been a full year, and these projects are just dropping. They're giving it to you for free. The minute it becomes subscription-based, I know for a fact I'm paying for some of them. It just makes my life a whole lot easier. But we have to adopt a decentralized mentality, right? Because if we lose that aspect of it to this technology, I can tell you that these guys will have us sitting on our ass with masks on all day, paying us to do nothing. And even if you're on the right side of useful, who wants to live in a world where that shit's like that? Because it's only a matter of time before it finds us somewhere. So y'all keep playing around with these boys with this artificial intelligence. These are a bunch of kids that are on the spectrum. They sit in dark rooms all day and they create stuff that don't have people in mind. They're not married. They don't get buns. They don't have children. They can't feel.
Thanks.
And these are the guys that are being rewarded right now. It's Fitz. The reason that these stores don't have inventories because we don't go to the stores. You tell me for 30 days, if we just put Amazon on pause and we just went out to the stores, you won't see an inventory shift?
Yep. Immediately.
That shit dumb, man. I'm tired of being human. Like, I just be coming down here to fuck with y'all, but I'm not human.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but you talk about, okay, interaction, but yet, I mean, you enjoy using artificial intelligence, like, although you would pay no subscription
I
for
still
it.
have, but Overlord, what you have to understand is I still have human interaction. You understand? I'm not a weirdo, right? We can go into the nuances of it, right? It's what it's creating. Yes, I use AI, but yes, I sit at my dinner table also. Yes, I entertain friends and family. Yes, I'm creating a tribe of people, right? You won't see me telling you, yo, do this. Like, listen, when we do our real live events, they're going to be live events. But I'm just telling you that these guys are taking us to a place that I'm urging you guys to take another look at it. Just don't lose the human aspect to things. Yes, the technology's here. I'm not fighting that at all. I'm telling you what I'm using the technology for. But we have to start looking at every fabric of this stuff and look a little further to see where it's going to take us. I mean, prior to it, you know, those jobs, I was hiring freelancers from India to do graphic work. Okay, so that industry's dead now. The other issue too is the reason why it's hard to do business with other humans is we not all the same. The division is getting further and further. You know what I'm saying? We're not all the same. This workforce now, that's not the workforce I came from.
Facts.
I don't trust nothing out there anymore. They don't know left from right. So who's in the back of that kitchen?
All D-League.
They know nothing. They go to a phone. I could have went to the phone. That phone is actually telling me the aisle. No, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what's happening out here right now. And those kids are going to have kids? Man, Champ, take it out. I'm done. I'm going to do a better job of connecting us on these calls. Because just that month or 2 months away from .connect, like this is the energy that has been missing. Champ and I shooting lives. I mean, that's cool, but we got to get the people back together again. First 3 minutes of conversation. Now we're looking at industries and we get a perspective from a guy who's a business broker. This is what we miss when we leave.
Facts.
And then when we leave, we go where now? We go somewhere to be weird.
Or
What are y'all doing? What are y'all talking about? What's the topic of discussion right now? No, I'm being honest. I want to know, like, what's the topic of discussion in people's households right now?
Drop it in the chat or unmute yourself. Serious.
Yeah, bro.
I'll let you go, Overlord. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Artificial intelligence?
It's just AI. Me personally, my household, we just trying to get ahead because I mean, you already know how passionate I am, Steve. So we trying to figure it out to really get in position because the doors is closing. The time, that time frame is closing. So
you're strategizing right now.
Yeah, super strategizing and just trying to get more capital to really get in position to do the things that I need to do. Because I took a couple L's and it's like, this is not the time. This is not the time right now because the doors is closing or whatever. So that's the focus in my household. But to your point earlier, you were saying like how are people generating cash and stuff like that. A lot of people I talk to, a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to, they pretty much saying that like everything is slow. Contractors, even the dudes that's in the streets, they tell me everything is slow.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm at the point where like I think I mentioned this to you before. I wonder if there's still always going to be an opportunity because all right, if you have nothing, the easiest, I'm not gonna say the easiest way, but one way to come up and change your life is to provide opportunity or do the dirty work for people who have something, right? Mm-hmm. Bring a wholesaler, bring them deals, like do the dirty work or whatever. So I'm just at that point, but I don't know if that's always gonna be there, like the way things are going.
Listen,
nothing can happen. I
What you
work
got?
in threat intelligence and it's just me and my daughter. So right now my focus has been understanding the technology behind the AI because to your point, it is everywhere. Like you said, I do try to resist a lot of things because it will take away human brain power. It will take away people's analytical thinking skills and critical thinking skills. And so I would tell everyone, learn prompt engineering because it's not going anywhere. AI will be here and it doesn't matter how you feel about it. So it's in your best interest to understand the technology and utilize it to the best of your ability so that you can beat the system. But I also agree with the gentleman that was talking before in terms of like trying to raise capital. Like I took out a home equity line against my house just because the funding was here and the rate is 1.99 until December. But I don't know what to do with this cash because I was talking to Steve about trying to buy a multi-unit to get more assets, but the real estate market is so crappy right now. I hate to say this word because I'm a God-fearing woman, but I'm afraid to take a leap because it's leveraged against my primary residence and I can't afford to take a hit. So I'm gonna link up with reaching out to Jay to try to get some mentorship to make sure I'm doing the right things with this money because it's here. And like you said, I think the doors will close a lot sooner than 2030.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you sent me the real estate deal, it's like there's numbers in there that you don't account for, and it's like this is not a positive cash flow situation, right? And then you talk about CapEx expenditures. So my new thing with real estate now is, and I'm not saying I don't hate it, I don't love it. I don't love it. Like I serve my tenants all day. I pay whatever the trash guy decides to charge me every month. It's their property. This is what I feel like. I feel like I'm working for people. Mm-hmm. It's not passive the way that people sell you on it. It's not passive, guys. And then when you're talking about class C and D neighborhoods, the crack dealer came, he needed his money. He breaks my window. That type of shit happens. Mm-hmm. Right? So every phone call, I got couple implants that give me intel. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing that keeps me sane in this situation. But you have to look at real estate from a different lens. Right? So I'm more interested in workforce housing. I'm more interested in building sustainable housing. That's because listen, guys, we don't need 8, 9, 5, or even 6, 7,000 square foot homes. Right? So we just got to take it back to the basics right now. And at the end of the day, they're going to limit you on the amount of things that you can purchase anyway. So you might want to start downsizing. One flight a year, a certain amount of meat per month. And this is happening in New York with the food. New York City, this is the test market for this now. Right? So I don't care if they ever ban, get rid of meat. It don't matter to me. It's everything that they're going to grab while they're going, while they're taking that so-called inch. Right? I'm all the way over here. That's why I'm like, I don't care about the meat. Like, I'll sit trash anyway. Right? Be doing better. So then it's going to be this. Then it's going to be that. The carbon credits, this fire thing just accelerates the need, right? Because it's climate. But they're not saying the fires are directly correlated with climate, but this is definitely messing up the climate right now. Mm-hmm. Sure. So carbon credits. So all I'm saying is Champ and I are putting us all in position when we give you guys these projects to study. Cool to buy the now stuff, but there are some stuff on the cutting edge of carbon credits could only be done through blockchain technology. That's the only true way to really know who owns what and what ownership. That has to be tokenized. So once we start to understand the rails and which blockchain, so this is a good time right now because anybody that could survive this is going to be a blockchain of the future. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that could survive this. The only thing that these companies have not fully grasped yet is when mass adoption comes, because some of them have crashes just without mass adoption. So that critical infrastructure piece is going to be huge. You know what I'm saying? But it's probably going to definitely be the layer 2 companies over on ETH. This is why I don't think ETH just dies like that. It's like pulling the plug on the internet a little bit. There's some solid project layer 2s over there. I know where you at with it, Champ, but we just got to call it what it is because now it's starting to the landscape's starting to be a little more clear.
Yeah. No,
more of the partnerships, right? Because with money, those type of issues could be fixed. Not ETH, really. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying those layer 2s, the minute that there's a blockchain that's interoperable and they just tell you, yo, press this, I can guarantee you'll see a lot of projects jumping ship, though.
You're definitely seeing it now. It's starting to happen. You know what I mean? That Ethereum virtual machine. I don't want to get super high tech with it because I don't want to lose nobody. But that EVM, if you ever see that on these graphics, especially my 1%ers, when we drop these graphics for them, always look and you'll see it's like a plug. It's EVM. That's Ethereum virtual machine. That's what Steve is talking about right now. Those are those layer 2s that were put there and they built on top of ETH because of the smart contracts, but they allow ETH to perform even better. So the more greater that you build these ecosystems, these EVMs he's talking about, these are the projects that people are going to be looking to invest in. And he's telling you the opportunity is so huge right now. So if you fuck around and miss it, listen, that's going to be to your own fault because every single time that there's a big crash or there's a situation in crypto or any financial market, these opportunities exist and they're there, but you have to have your eyes open to see them. And to piggyback off what he said originally, you need human interaction. You're not just going to get this from typing in some shit in ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is not going to tell you, hey, this project is what you should be investing in because this project ties into this. The reason this is so important is because this does this, right? That's where you get this from. You pick that game up from Steve and I. And then you have your community. You have Twitty that's in there. You have Kels. You got Fitz. Everybody does certain things. You got Knots that's here. Knots is giving you a separate value. It's the people, the synergy that we're talking about. So we're gonna do something, and I know this is partially my fault as well. So I don't want Steve to kind of bear that responsibility. but we got to do something to make sure that we're bringing everybody together. We have to, because even right now, this is what makes it so vital. You're going to continue, and this is on our community thing, right? You're here for crypto, but this is so much bigger than crypto. You're trying to figure out, what do you do with money? How do you make money? How do you produce more money? How do you store your money? How do you protect it? Right? So you putting it in things that will appreciate. But we know that even though now you're investing in certain things, they're going to crash this regardless. So you have to be so strong in your belief in certain projects and where you're putting your money at, because once it crashes, you never lose your money until you sell. They can crash the crypto market, but as soon as the lights come back on, everything that appreciates is just going to price everybody else out. It's going to become where it appreciated from something that was 10 cent, 15 cent, 20 cent, $1, whatever. Now you're looking at $50, $100 per coin, and you've got 10,000 coins, 15,000 coins, 100,000 coins, right? So the average person is not going to be able to amass that type of holdings, that type of value. So what we're just basically saying is, not only do you need this information, you need each other. We all need each other. We have to start being more interactive. And we're not having that. On our side, listen, there's a lot of people that don't say nothing. You know what I mean? And I get it. It gets overwhelming sometimes. Like, crypto gets born. We've been here through multiple cycles. Steve and I've been here since 2015. Some people that's on this call, you guys just got into the space a year or two ago, right? So I'm not discrediting how you feel about certain things, but you're not going to have the same, like, you're tired of something if you've been in it for 16 years. Steve and I've been in 16 years collectively doing this day in, day out, right? Feeding the people, giving the people information, deep diving, looking into new projects, looking at new partnerships, right? How is it going to affect and benefit the people? Right. And then we have to break that high level stuff down and then make it palatable so that we can explain it to somebody else. Right. We get exhausted. So all in all, right, I don't want to lose nobody, but all in all, I'm just saying, I know with crypto, a lot of people, we get tired because just like, yo, there's no price movement. There's no big appreciation. And all you're really seeing that they allow you to see is you're seeing new coins. Right. It's a new coin that came out the other day. It's called Fuck It. Right? This coin is a tether pairing. The coin came out instantaneously. I watched when it released. I was literally on the app when it dropped. The coin came out. I'm talking about in a matter of 60 seconds, the coin did 190%. The green candle was just a huge wick. I see so much volume going to it. People are just liquidating other coins, going straight into it, chasing green candles, missing the entire foundation of crypto, right? You're only seeing green, so you running towards it. Immediately crashes. I look at it today, it's like 40% down, 50% down. And it's people stuck in it, can't get out of it because there's a whole bunch of sell orders. But if you would have took that same money that you put into these bullshit projects, right, instead of chasing green candles, you just fixate on the fundamentals and you invest in those. Believe in the projects that you're investing in. Put your money into those, right? And once you invest in those, you're not going to get that instant return right away, but you should have peace of mind, right? What he said the other day, that was perfect. Twitty said something that was perfect the other day. Twitty said, I'm sitting back comfortably investing in certain things. I don't have to worry and be stressed out, chasing green candles, and these other guys are getting wrecked. You're constantly getting exchanges sued. You're seeing exchanges shut down. You're seeing Atomic Wallet. It got hacked the other day. People lost a ton of capital, a ton of money. It was 35 million on-chain losses from a hack. But if everybody was here with Skyton, right? You took the boot camp. You listened to what we were basically telling you guys from the jump. We never switched up the strategy. We told you guys, listen, we've been through this, so you don't have to go through it. If you'd have just listened, followed the structure, you was not involved in that hack. Now think about people who put their life savings and a bunch of money in these times of economic uncertainty. You're dumping a bunch of capital, right? We got a looming recession. We got the debt ceiling going on. There's about to be liquidity crunch, bank crisis, banks failing. Like all kinds of nonsense is going on. Nobody feels safe in banks. Where did they go? They went into crypto, right? You've seen the spike go up. But then when you see something so small like the SEC or CFTC suing Binance and Coinbase, instantaneously you see the market tank because people are now scared. They're moving money all over the place, right? So volume is coming out of the markets and people are scared. So what Steve was telling you guys is your mindset ain't even right because you're getting the info, you're getting the data, we're telling you everything you need, but in your mind, you just automatically see something happen and you get fearful. That fear is causing you to have paper hands. And every single time you're going to lose. Because the moment you hit sell, you lost. Because 9 times out of 10, you got in at a price that wasn't at where you weren't at a profit. You always lead with emotion, you always lose. Steve give you guys spots. I mean, Steve give you guys the calls for futures. I seen it all the time. And I was one of those people. I'm telling you from a place of experience. Steve is the one who taught me futures. He taught me how to trade, how to get in and get out. You know what I mean? Just being poised, sitting tight, letting the trade materialize. Knots does the same thing. Knots giving you guys the plays, doing the same thing. But the moment you start moving at a haste, you get scared. You see it, you might see the trade retrace and you're down 20% or 40%. As soon as something like that happens, instantaneously you getting out the trade, you hit close, now you at a loss. You just took a 40% loss. If you would have waited 10, 20 more minutes or 30 minutes, it materialized. Boom, market goes right back up. Now you're starting to see people post it. And we tell you how to post this on purpose so other people can see it. 150% gains, 190% gains, 218%. It's right there in the proof. It's right in the chat, right in the Discord. So all of this is going to continue to happen. And this is not just trading. This is in crypto. This is in any investment that you have. This is with anything that you have of value. When you start moving, at a haste and you're uncomfortable, you're not settled, you don't have all the information, you just start making poor decisions. Those poor decisions is what's going to kill you. And if you don't have a community around you, you just left to your own thoughts. You know what I mean? So if you don't got a strong mind, it's going to continue to happen. You guys situation. Tone, I see your question. I'll get back to you. Well, I'll just answer it. So Tone just asked, he said you guys don't have to address this right now, but whatever happened to the ledger update situation. So of course, with you all being here, a lot of guys, we told you guys that's one of our top picks for cold storages, right? Was Ledger, right? They were the first, they have the most partnerships, community trusted, etc. What they basically did was they released an update. And with the update, you had the option to be able to allow a third party through Ledger to hold your private keys, right? Which is asinine because we always told you, not your keys, not your cheese. And that's my favorite slogan. The reason we tell you guys that is because if anything ever happens to your private keys and you're compromised, you'll lose all of your crypto, right? Somebody can literally take your private keys, go buy another ledger, and they can import, from your crypto, your holdings, and they can import all of your holdings onto a brand new ledger because they have access to your private keys. So essentially, it's like you giving somebody the key to your safety deposit box that has all your money in it. So what happened was the sentiment in the community was, hell no, we're not going for it. That makes no sense. Why would we want you to self-custody for us, right? Because most of the people that's in crypto using the ledger, they know about safety. They know about safeguarding their assets, protecting it. So Ledger put out a couple statements basically saying that this is only for the Ledger Nano X, and this is only rolling out in certain places. And they just seen that the community response was like, we're not going for it. We don't want it. So, that kind of ruffled a lot of people's feathers and, they lost some security in the community. But for the most part, nothing happened. And it was all optional, but it's still like, it just lets you know, like, yo, you have to be protected. You have to diversify your assets. They have to be spread across multiple, cold storage and not just having one cold storage with all of your projects on it. That's all. Kev, I think experience plays a part, and trading psychology I dropped 2 years ago. Nah, that's a fact. I mean, listen, Steve.
And listen. Truth be told, I told you about that ledger situation. When I saw it turned into a marketplace, I was like, yo, I'm not feeling that. That's creating more doors for more stuff to happen. Ledger already had breaches in the past. Everyone has a breach at some point. You know what I'm saying? So, and Champ, they did. It's not a problem until you need to get your coins. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be something at some point that and listen, guys, we're going to be buying from the banks anyway. All this stuff is going to be whatever digitally FDIC insured. So, you know, just sit tight for a minute. The security is coming, because those big guys, when they get their money in there, they're not going to be dealing with this stuff. You know, this is why you see companies like you know, the acquisition with Ripple. What's the other one over there? PolySign. Right. Yep. Yeah, so you're seeing a lot of this stuff. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's because you're not staying close to the information. So back to the helium situation. So there's economies that are going to be built out inside of crypto. You have to stay present, because once you lose your job, you're gonna have all the time in the world. But it's better to stay ahead of time and maybe fire your job before they start to cut you. So with the helium miner, what I'm doing is I'm adding to an ecosystem where they're gonna need data. So when Helium has the 6-year partnership with T-Mobile, everyone's selling data to each other, right? So we become basically data miners from our home. We have to get involved in those industries, because what's going to happen is when the institutional guys come, again, hopefully crypto just keeps it completely decentralized with that. And it only makes sense to do that, because then at that point you're running centralized companies. Centralized companies are failing right now, right? All those old tech companies, just think about it. There's only one thing in common with them. They were big data hoarders. Who bought and sold us over and over, right? They made us product. So now we're talking about crypto, we're no longer product right now. You know, I mean, we are, you know, in essence, we can make money adding to these ecosystems. So phase 2 of where Champ and I are taking you guys is starting to understand those projects and starting to invest, or even if not investing, just investing in the knowledge to know, like, all right, you know what? I know I can own keywords on here. I know that this music, you know, I can add to an ecosystem. I just have to have money put aside. So there's a whole digital asset world that's going to be in it. You know, the metaverse. You see that heating back up again with Apple's eyewear, VR. Right? That was huge. So now the metaverse is back in talks in Central Land, World Economic Forum. You're starting to see a lot of partnerships forming. So my frustration earlier was, this ain't the time, guys. This is it. This is where because there's so much noise in crypto, if you start to peel the onion back a little bit, and that's what Champ and I do. Anytime there's smoke somewhere, I'm like, Champ, there's something happening. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's happening. The integrations are going on. The partnerships are being signed, and they got you out of your bag. You're like, yo, I'm out. I see guys selling the ticket. I'm like, yo, listen, you put the money in. Why are you selling right now? Like, all right, I get it. But those aren't the type of investments. That digital asset right there, some of those assets aren't the ones that you want to sell. Trust me when I tell you that.
Facts. Big facts.
And these guys are going to take that money out of that old system. And guess what system they're going to come into and start all over again? Because that's the system that's driving the innovation. Blockchain is going to drive the innovation for artificial intelligence. You can't have one without the other. Right? AI is just getting rid of small fish right now. So if you lost your job to AI, you probably weren't as valuable as you thought. And that's all it really comes down to. It's how valuable can you be in this system? But I'm just telling you guys, it's going to be a need for human interaction in the future, because if we get rid of that sort of stuff, I'm not saying to not embrace the technology, but we dictate what's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, when have these nerds taken over? I don't get it. I don't come from that school of thought. We're making these guys way too powerful, and they're not even invested in caring about anything. All right, Champ, what we got? Coinbase, Binance, right?
Yeah. So that's the thing that's the hottest on the plate right now. We can start with Binance. So with Binance,
He got to go.
yeah, absolutely. So CZ, I mean, he's always been a threat, but you gotta remember, this is nothing but karmic energy coming back anyway, because it was because of him that FTX situation happened, right? He was the whistleblower. He was the one he was the catalyst, right? So without him telling on FTX and what they were doing and shedding light on that, none of this snowball effect of multiple exchanges like this would have been shut down like back to back. But here's the big takeaway I want you guys to understand, right? Basically, what they're doing is they're saying, all right, the SEC has already got the lawsuit going on with Ripple. They're at a loss right now, right? As it stands, the SEC is going to lose, right? And you can say that based upon the actions of Judge Torres and I can't remember the other judge's name off the head, but Judge Torres was the one who basically is dropping the hammer on the SEC, right? So it's been multiple wins for Ripple. In the process, we already told you guys what was going to happen. So you tie up Ripple for all this time with XRP and what it does. You see, they just did the acquisition for Medico, right? And this is a crypto custody company, right? This is all about custody. This is what we're talking about here. But they're going to continue to wreak havoc on retail, which is us, right? We're always going to be the target until they finally usher in regulation. So until they're ready, this is going to continue to happen. You're going to keep seeing exchanges get brought into litigation. They're going to say, oh, these guys are selling unregistered securities, XYZ, and they're going to continue to bring suit. But the situation with Binance is super heavy because, one, CZ is over it. They already had it out for him because in March, the CFTC was already doing investigations. The Department of Justice was already doing investigations on CZ for money laundering, right? So anybody who's been with us for a while, you follow the social medias, we drop videos on this stuff, right? So I made sure it was detailed enough so that everybody could follow. And I said, listen, what they're going to do is they're going to try to push him out of the United States. But think about it. How was he even able to create Binance US? There was a reason for this, right? That was for us. That was to kind of strengthen their reach as an exchange. They already set FTX on fire. Who's next up? The only person you had left was Coinbase and Binance US. Binance US, Binance period, was already the largest cryptocurrency exchange. So now this is the biggest in the world. So now what do you do to inflict more chaos and keep the market down, keep more uncertainty in this space? You bring litigation against them. So now they're trying to halt all of his holdings, stop him from being able to do anything that has anything to do with anything financial in the United States, right? So they're trying to literally halt. They put an injunction in yesterday trying to stop him. But the key thing I want you guys to notice about that lawsuit was it was 12 tokens that they deemed securities, right? So out of those 12 tokens, there are a lot of projects that you guys are invested in. I know for sure, right? So here are the 12. BNB, which is the Binance coin, that was their stable coin, the BUSD. You had Solana, Cardano, which is ADA. You had Polygon, Matic, Filecoin, Cosmos, Sandbox, Decentraland. Both of those are metaverse spaces. Pay attention. You got Algorand, you had Axie Infinity, and Cody, right? Now, a lot of you guys probably didn't know this. Hong Kong had cryptocurrency basically being illegal. You couldn't purchase it, you couldn't transact in cryptocurrency, right? All of the coins that I just named are the same 12 coins that are now legal to be able to be transacted and purchased and invested in whatever in Hong Kong. Think about that. That's not a coincidence. If you would allow a country to say, yo, we're not transacting in these projects, it's illegal, you can't do it. And then here in the United States, the SEC overreaching, leading with enforcement like they always do, not protecting the retail investor as they're supposed to do. They say these same exact coins are illegal, but now they're legal in another country. And then remember, we had the Restrict Act that just came out not too long ago, that they were talking about trying to fine citizens of the United States for utilizing VPNs. Come on, man. This is what they do. They have to create uncertainty in this space to keep the market low like this. There's so many things that's moving right now, and these guys are trying to wrap their hands around it. They're trying to get a grip around cryptocurrency, and they only want what you guys were able to buy for fractions of a penny. That's it. So every single time they do something, it causes a reaction in the market. People get scared, they sell. Soon as they sell, what happens? I mean, you can almost see it almost instantaneously. Bitcoin dropped, I think it was like $2,000. Everybody was in a panic, right? You started to see everything else see red. In a matter of an hour, Steve put out a trade. In a matter of an hour, it was right back. A ton of volume came into Ripple. Right?
And guess who bought it? You know what I'm saying? Guys, stop getting boxed out of your positions.
That's it,
With
man.
these panic selling, man. This is the listen, the easiest way to get the retail guy out is keep manipulating the market over and over, beat him up till he's in submission. These crypto projects don't have unlimited supply. You understand? So the last piece of the puzzle is going to be the stable coin. They're going to tell you, I'm telling you verbatim, they're going to say, oh, cryptocurrency is not illegal in the United States. That's going to be the headlines on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The same way they said, oh, it's illegal to not have the vaccine and whatever, all that stuff they concocted on the news. And
Right.
at that point, that's the final stance right there. Whoever has it, has it. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a bull run at the end of October. That's going to be the next bull run, fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you know the Ripple case is about to end, because I told Champ, I said, listen, they're not going to take this L without bringing the whole thing down to its knees. So it's wrapping up soon.
Absolutely.
Because the last piece of the puzzle is really the stable coin. And they attacked all those guys, and they, trust me, they could shut the lights down on all of them. Because once you get the exchanges out the way, Canada kicked CZ out, he can't trade in Europe. It's like, all right, you're the biggest exchange in the world. That's the head of the snake. And on top of that, he's betting against guys like me and you every day with his market. So that's the problem with the centralized system. CZ is doing some bullshit. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in the stock market. I'm just telling you that this guy's from China with ties to the Chinese government.
Straight up.
We told you a long time ago, he is not part of this ecosystem here in this country and how it moves forward. They do not want centralized systems in place. We go two ways from here. It's either decentralized and we fight like hell, or it's ruled by regulation and it's business as usual.
Right. And that's it.
Either way, you get your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially where Steve just kind of summed it all up for you guys is exactly what I'm saying. You're letting events that happen and are going to continue to happen just sway you, right? And it's giving you guys, causing you guys to have paper hands. So again, get out of your feelings, you know what I mean? Stick to the fundamentals, believe in the projects, research in the projects. And when you invest in them, like we're going to continue to present spots for you guys. We give you guys spots all the time, and I'm about to turn it up. I got a ton of spots that I kind of been falling back just because you kind of know what's going on in the industry right now. I don't want anybody to feel like, oh man, I don't have the means, or the market is just dry, so there's no movement, right? So I haven't even been dropping a bunch of spots, but I see them every day. So I'm gonna drop some stuff on there so you guys can just have vantage. I'm gonna give you guys the gems. You guys, you know how to do the research. Everybody who took the boot camp, you know how to critique a project. So you guys will have vantage, right? You can go in and do what you need to do. Mr. G, I'm gonna get to you. I just seen your message in the chat. I'll finish the thought in a second. But I just want you guys to understand they're gonna continuously do this. The Ripple case is almost over. You know Ripple is going to continue to be a big dog. They just did a $250 million acquisition. Do you think a company is going to spend another $250 million after they just spent, I think, $300 million on legal fees over the last 2.5 years? If they're going to lose, come on, man. They're telling you what's happening. And if you've been following the case or following, the university, we've been telling you guys what's been going on this whole time. So on the 13th, is the last day that Ripple has where they're mandated from George Torres to turn in the redacted emails that they have on Bill Hinman, and you already see it. On the SEC website, they already started taking down Bill Hinman's bio off the website. Bill Hinman was the former Gary Gensler, right? He was the guy that was sitting in Gary Gensler's seat. But it's because of him that Ethereum even got the pass and Bitcoin even got the pass. It was his quote unquote speech, right? All my 1%ers, this is day one stuff. So y'all know what time it is. But I say all that to say these guys are wicked, they're snakes, and they're going to continue to do this, right? So you just have to stay out of your emotions, man. You have to. If you don't take anything else from this call, you have to. That's imperative. And just to give you guys some context, the reason we even presented the link to situation again that Steve was talking about at the beginning of the call is because with Medico, Ripple just bought them, right, for $250 million. They're a custody, and they're saying by 2030 they're going to see about 10 trillion in institutional money coming to the market, right? I think honestly by 2030 I think it would be higher than that, but that's a 3x from the all-time high of crypto's market cap, right? So that lets you know already they're foreseeing a 3x of its all-time high. Right now we're probably sitting at about 1.1 if I'm not mistaken, 1.3, something like that. But the partnerships, I want you guys to start looking at these partnerships from Medico alone. 80% of the banking sector is going to be utilized, and it's all going to run through Ripple and Medico. And I mean that, 80%. Go look at the partnerships. You can go to gft.com and you can see it. I'm talking Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Partner, Guideware, Microsoft Azure. It's so many. It's I think it's like 16 or 17 powerhouses. So that's literally 80% of the banking sector. That's all going to be for digital asset custody. And people are worried about these nonsense SEC and lawsuits that they're bringing against exchanges, right? If you was already making your purchases and moving them off onto ledgers and other cold storage wallets, you have nothing to worry about. The only thing that would be on your mind is, how will I be able to off ramp? That's it. Because once they keep attacking these exchanges, truthfully, people can be fearful of like, hey, where do I go to start selling? Whenever projects start to appreciate, where would I go? You would just find another exchange because you have the power. You have the keys. It's on your ledger. Nobody can do anything without your permission, right? So it doesn't matter what happens to any of these exchanges. They can all shut down. And then once they come back online, or if the banks, like we've been telling you guys, the banks will be the new exchanges. If the banks are where you would go, think about it. Even these banks don't have crypto. So what would you do? Now you become the man. They got to get their crypto back from you. You're going to be loaning out your crypto once they appreciate. Those who don't sell, you'll be loaning out your crypto to banks. The banks are going to be loaning it out to other people. They're going to make money on your money, and they're going to be paying you for making money off your crypto. That's what the end game is. The end game is not for people to get wealthy off crypto, take it back into fiat, and then now you have fiat. You're seeing it. The dollar is dying. These currencies are dying. They're all being backed by gold and commodities because they have no power, right? It's just ink and paper. The value in it is going to come when they start getting backed by, gold, silver, and other commodities and things like that, right? I'm talking high level. This is further down the line, but you guys are you're in the right position now. So if you're in certain projects and you're seeing this, these other countries, BRICS nations, they're all moving away from the US dollar. They're transacting in their own currencies, and they're creating their currencies and backing them with gold and silver and precious metal and natural resources. So as they're doing this, the value is now coming back to the money, but that money is becoming tokenized, digital assets. That's why you're here. You're here early. And if you do this right, everybody's good. Everybody's set. You just have to believe in the right projects, invest in the right projects, and be positioned. And you can't let bullshit shake you out of your spot. You can't. So, Mr. G, to answer your question, So right now, I know the sentiment was, I didn't finish the thought, right? Of what do you guys do when it comes to custodying your crypto? Sit tight. You've been using Ledger. As long as you haven't been doing the buy functions and all that other stuff that Ledger Live has had, and your assets have still been sitting on your Ledger devices, there's nothing you need to do because nothing affected you. There was just an option that was put out that they told people, if you have a Ledger Nano X, you can opt in to this service where somebody else can custody for you. So you can continue to use Ledger until you hear, more news, until there's more updates. But as of right now, you're fine. But the best course of action is always to have multiple cold storage devices and diversify your assets. Spread your assets across different cold storage. That way, if anything ever happens, you never have to worry about losing all of your crypto. You have it spread across different devices. Steve,
Yeah. So listen, we can't say never, but you have a higher probability,
right?
Right? Because if you were on Atomic Wallet the other day, what happened there.
Right.
So
85 million.
And guys, the other thing too is I noticed some of you did KYC on Ledger. I would not opt to do that. So if I did it and I heard, someone like me telling me to go buy another one, I would go buy another one. Because if they're not asking you for information, don't willfully give it just to go buy. You know how to buy already. So now they got your data linked to your wallet. So figure that part out. Stop giving these guys all this information if they're not requesting it. And to be honest, I don't even see a future in those companies really long-term like that, Champ. And we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about this today. Share that with them because that's insightful, something for them to, kind of have.
I mean, just think about it. Crypto exchanges are going to be banks, right? They're going to be the big five: Wells Fargo, Bank of America, the usual suspects, right? So if that's going to be that, and trust me, self-custody is going to be one that the SEC is about to come after in a minute too, right? We can't say because they're on Pancake Swap, they're on all those decentralized exchanges are there. You know what I mean? So we can't think that these cold storage wallets aren't going to be a topic of discussion right now. Now, the only thing that's really saving us is you don't have too many US companies having ownership in these wallets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how they can necessarily block the usage of these things unless they're blocking the IP addresses. But now going back to that administration, when they're creating those problems for, they want to lock people up who use VPNs. Guys, that's how you know something's big's coming. Because you only use a VPN to sidestep to protect your location. And then there's other reasons why you can use them, but I'm just telling you that you gotta pay close attention to what's happening. You don't even gotta pay close attention. It's just so obvious. I mean, Champ, we've been telling you this, but to go back to it, guys, honestly, I say within 30 days after we drop this plan, the next step is we have to start looking at what are the industries and how can I make money in crypto right now? Not the long-term situation. There's nothing more we could talk about when it comes down to the 1%. We're still tracking it daily. We don't get any feedback from our 1% group. I'm like, man, you guys just don't take the information and just rely on Champ and I. You know what I'm saying? Because we could decide to just be out at any point, and you don't want to get left always thinking, oh yeah, they'll keep me updated, because I'm not sending out messages to tell y'all when to buy or when to sell. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too, is you got to pull profit. I've seen too many bull and bear markets to know that if you see profit, take profit on the next run. Just start to strategize what your coin thing is, because everybody waiting for this XRP to get 500. That thing could take 10 years. And then you missed the 10, you missed the 50, you missed the 70, and it's back down to 10. Like, it goes through those type of cycles. I'm not saying I see it doing something completely crazy initially, right? So even if they beat this case, I mean, what's the minimum, guys? Drop that in the chat. The minimum you think immediately after the, and what was the all-time high, champ, so they could know?
$3.86.
So here we are right now. Do the math, champ. You put $1,000 in right now at 50. And, you know, as the U.S. liquidity left the market, the Chinese filled it right back up again. But I think the U.S. filled their bag up too, because there's certain guys that are buying at those prices. Every time Bitcoin hits a certain amount, there's automatic buys that are set up to purchase. You guys are just reacting to the market. They have their long, you know, guys have $10,000 entries. Like,
That's what I'm talking about, Toad. That's what I like. Toad said 32K. Listen, I mean,
oh
realistically,
man,
I like those numbers. Realistically, I don't see even with the win, I don't see them instantaneously just going up, shooting right off the bat. Right. I think it's going to be a gradual progression, but I know for sure it's going to be price before regulations. So before we get regs, we're going to get a big price boom. So whoever's in, you better be in. Whoever's out, you can catch it when it's, you know, $20, $10, $50, $100, $1,000. It is what it is. And that's normally how it works. That's normally how it goes. You have your people who was invested, they bought in, you know, when it was pennies, you know, or thousandths of a penny. They held for however long, they waited for it to appreciate. And you've seen the work that Ripple's doing. You see what the use of XRP is. In these times, it's a liquidity mechanism, right? The company is pushing liquidity. We need liquidity as a liquidity crunch. That means there's no money moving around. So you need money for markets to flow, no friction to you know, be in existence. That's what it's here for. So, you know, hey, it's on y'all, man. We told you guys, we warned you guys. You know what time it is. Now it's just up to you. You got to be patient. Just think about it. I've been buying XRP since 2015, 2016. Same thing with Steve. Before we knew each other, we both were big XRP heads. Our first conversation was, you know, yo, what was your coin? XRP. Boom, boom, boom. We talked about it. From that conversation, materialized the university. So just think about it. We've been in, both of us, 8+ years waiting for the boom, holding on to a project. You willing to do that? You believe in something enough to hold on to it for that long or longer? And then some of y'all only been in a year, 2 years. So y'all got it easy and y'all got better, you know, y'all got great entries. Without all the emotional, undertakings you had to go through, you know, watching the different market cycles. Shit is real. But I like some of these answers though, $3, $5. Abel, why you say 3 to 5? What's your, unmute yourself, tell me why.
Now I figured go back to, because you said the minimum, I figure minimum it goes back to its all-time high, right? That's easy. That's fathomable. $3 to $5, it'll shoot up. You know, I figure it'll go up to like around that range. A lot of people will sell their bag. It'll probably drop down a little bit, and then people will enter back in and it will shoot up again. So you just gotta figure out, like you said, you know, plan your exit. You might want to take a little bit of profit at 3, maybe at the next, I don't know what the next level is for whatever you think it might appreciate to. But like Linnell just said, you got a short term and a long term. So I got different bags that I'm gonna sell at different price points. I'm like, all right, that bag I'm holding for 10 years. Right. This bag I'm holding for, you know, whatever price it is, you know, I you know, if you put in $1,000, it goes up to like $5. You already made a 4 or 5x on your money. So you can take out your initial, pluck a little bit of something and leave the rest.
Absolutely. That's it. Nah, that's what's up. There's and I know we addressed this before on a previous call. Did you guys already have everybody that's invested in crypto? I want you guys to drop a 1 in the chat. Don't drop yet. Listen to the question. Put a 1 in the chat if you already have an exit strategy. I know all my 1%ers. I already know y'all covered. Everybody, all the usual suspects. I already see y'all ones drop. So I know what time it is with y'all. But everybody else that's on the call, it's 60 people on this call. So I want to see more than this. If you don't, it's okay. It's not a problem. But this is why you need community. And I'll drop something after the video so you guys can start reading and researching if you don't. Is there anybody who does not have a exit strategy? Drop a 2 in the chat. Okay. Nah, I respect it. So listen, the key to this is you have to look at when you made your initial investments, right? Anytime you make an initial investment, you don't lose whatsoever until you hit sell in crypto. That's how this works. So if you invest in something right now, and it's like, let's say XRP, for example, and it's 51 cents right now. So let's say you invest in something and it's 51 cents and you see it, the case is over. And this is scenario, right? Let's say the case ends, you see all of the news, it's the only coin in the crypto space, period, with regulatory clarity, right? Because there's no settling. Ripple is not going to settle. So you see the coin shoot up $5, $10, $3, $20, $100, whatever. Exit strategy just means when it hits certain price points, I'm going to sell certain amounts, right? So example, I've been buying since 2015. So my lowest buy-in was 6 cents, 3 cents was my lowest buy-in, right? So you could imagine I have a certain amount of my bag. And when it gets to, let's say, $1, I told myself I'm going to sell 5,000 coins. When it gets to $10, I'm going to sell 10,000 coins. When it gets to $5, or, if it drops back down, I'm going to load up and buy some more. But anytime it hits any kind of price point, you have to have it written down. This is a plan. This is something that can be altered. It can be changed based on your situation, but the most effective way to do this, anytime you invest in something, make sure that you get your initial back. And always attempt to gain profits, but your initial always got to come back home. And then outside of that, you're playing with house money. So you guys have to actually sit down, see how much you have right now that you're holding of a coin. It doesn't matter what coin it is. When you look at the project, you see the partnerships, you see what it's poised to do, and you kind of know that you're early. Remember, there's only 5%, 4% of the global population that's invested in crypto right now. So think about this. You still have the rest of the world that has to come in, and then things are going to be tokenized. All things of value, stocks, bonds, real estate, everything down to your digital identity is all going to be tokenized, right? So anything of value that needs to be transacted is going to be a digital currency. So you guys are investing in certain things now that are so early. When it materializes, you have the potential to be 100 millionaires, billionaires, right? It just depends on how much you have in, how long, and you're willing to stay in these projects and just hold, because the companies are doing the work for you. You're seeing it. So when utility comes in and institutional money comes in, you're going to start to see these projects shoot up. These gains are going to be insane. But always remember, the dollar is dying. These currencies around the world, they're dying. They're all becoming digital assets. So the only way that you guys are going to be able to transact 9 times out of 10 is going to be digitally. So don't think about it like, yo, I'm going to sell this just to go into fiat. Think about it like, okay, I've made a certain amount of money. Of course, sell. I'm not telling you not to, right? You could sell, put some money back in the bank, because right now we are still using the dollar, right? We're still using debit cards, actual fiat, and all that good stuff. So until it comes to that point when it's about to die, you still need to live. You still need to kind of, see your investments materialize. But you need to be looking at things from a broader perspective, right? And long term. Okay, I'm going to start taking some money, and when things happen, I can sell out. Now I have cash on the sidelines. And when I say cash, I mean like a stable coin, USDC, whatever it is that you have, right? And you're able to literally quickly go into USDC, go buy something else that you know has a potential future, and you're repeating the cycle. So this is how you build your wealth, and you still keep your money inside crypto, and you build the ecosystem, creating products and services that's going to help the everyday person, your neighbor, you know what I mean? The people that's on this call. These are the things that you guys need. So don't think about this stuff as I'm just trying to hurry up, sell, and go into cash. Think about it long term. And it's okay to have your short-term bag, like Linnell said. Everybody should have that. Anybody who has an exit strategy, I know for sure you have a short-term play and you have a long-term play. Your short-term play is essentially anything that's under $4 or $5, because all-time high for XRP by itself was already $3.86. So just think about it. That's easy. That's feasible to get back to. Right before the SEC lawsuit, it was at $2 and some change. It was December. Soon as the news came out, last day Bill Hinman was in the office, shit dropped. The soon as they announced it, Gary Gensler was getting ready to come in the next couple weeks, price just started to tank. But it was already at $2 and some change, and that was super undervalued. And just a little FYI, he's already talking. Brad Garlinghouse is kind of giving you guys the inkling, like, yo, this case is pretty much over with. Soon as the case is won, they're gonna go public. So the pre-IPO that we was telling you guys about, that's another gem. So if you're in a position where you already play in that stock realm and you want to just have, you want to be invested in that before things happen, I definitely advise you to do so. I definitely advise you to tap in. If you need help with accreditation and all that good stuff, just reach out to us. We have a method to assist you guys with that on the Link2 platform. And this isn't sponsored. We're not sponsored by those guys, no nothing. This is just the platform we're utilizing, right? So listen, all in all, today for this .connect, the most important part of this, outside of just us having the talks about the community and us being together, we need one each other. And this is imperative. We have to stick together. In these times, it's going to be a lot of uncertainty. There's going to be a lot of things that happen. A lot of people are going to lose jobs to technology, right? That's why we keep talking about AI. People need to develop certain skill sets, because even if you're a paper pusher, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I respect everybody's position, from janitors to desk worker. I don't care what you do. I respect everybody's hustle. But understand the way the world is moving, we're going to be living in an asset-backed society, an asset-based society. So if you don't have any assets and you don't have any kind of value that you bring to the world where they can't easily replace you with a machine or some technology or a robot, it's going to get nasty for you. Because they are definitely trying to get rid of the middle class. It's only going to be the haves and the have-nots. And the have-nots basically are going to be slaves. And I hate to say it like that, but that's essentially what it boils down to. It's the useful and the useless. That's literally how they look at us. The useful and the useless. And everybody who's deemed useless, you're literally going to be the people receiving universal basic income, eating bugs and shit. And that's not conspiracy. That's real. That's fact. Yo.
I had a quick question. Where do you, or how do you see trades moving in the future? Barbers, plumbers, things like that.
So, I mean, think about it. I mean, anybody, I just told my nephew this. My nephew just graduated. I just told my nephew this. So he's 18 years old, right? He's never been in the job market, no, none of that. And a lot of people is thinking about, what do you do, right? And you have people, I'm 30 plus. I'll be 38 this month. So when you look at things like from my vantage, I'm still young, but I'm still mature to the point where I'm across that echelon already. So I'm feeling like the old head. I'm feeling like the old guy who has to think long term. I'm saying to myself, if I didn't have certain skill sets, I would be in that same boat. So everybody who has a trade, for the most part, you're going to be there. But people who and I'm not degrading anybody, I'm not putting nobody down, but like somebody who might work at McDonald's, you see it already, fast food workers, things like that. bro, these robots are already programmed to flip your burgers, cook the food, you know what I mean? Deliver the food. They can bring it out to you. They got wheels to literally deliver it from the kitchen to your table. You seeing delivery, little cargo robots that can literally deliver a package from A to B. And this is already in New York. This is happening, right? So, you know, people who just sitting there, who's gate guards, you know, you might just be an idle sitting there verifying somebody's info, pressing a button to open up the gate and let somebody in somewhere. Robots is already doing this. It's going to be digital. People going to be scanning key cards. They're going to have injectable nanotech inside their hands. You know what I mean? Biometric scans using your iris. All of these things are already happening. So definitely people who have a trade, they're key. People who know how to trade, and you know how to actually learn markets and how they operate and be able to transact in them, for futures, things like that. And then people that's in cryptocurrency. These are certain skill sets that everybody doesn't have. This is why you're seeing, think about this, the 30 for 30. You know, that was all crypto money, right? That was all crypto. All those guys who was on that Forbes list, that 30 for 30, all those guys was crypto, almost 90% of them was crypto guys. What were they doing? Trading crypto, investing in crypto, building companies in crypto, in blockchain technology. They were providing services and they were adding to the ecosystem of this emerging technology, of this emerging space. So all of them guys was already wealthy. Now think about the people who are under them. We're a part of the ecosystem. We're traders, we're investors, right? So we have a skill set that's almost essentially like a trade. And in this world, everything is, Steve was giving you guys a super gem. It's called the Internet of Things, right? I'm not gonna go all the way into it, but think about it. Even down to this this toothbrush. I got a toothbrush the other day. I went to the dentist. They gave me an AI operated toothbrush. This shit is wild. So Oral-B, what's this shit called? Oral-B Genius X. These things are existing for a reason. You got refrigerators that, you know, you press a couple buttons, they light up, show you what's inside the refrigerator. You can connect it to whatever and place an order and have some groceries delivered to your front door. This is what this tech is doing, right? This is all blockchain. So don't think about it just like you have to have a trade, like you have to fix a car, you got to be a plumber, things like that, right? And those are all good things because right now we have homes, people are needed. You don't have robots to fix that type of stuff. But that is a very serious skill set to have. That's a plus. But now think about things digitally. The world is already transitioning. It's already becoming digital. So as it becomes digital, now you're putting your imprint here in this ecosystem, this space. You're going to be a data furnisher, you know what I mean? Somebody who knows how to store data. You could be an instructor, like how we teach you guys cryptocurrency. Same thing. Now you're adding to this ecosystem. You just have to figure out what works best for you and what is your value add to people, to add to this space. Because they're gonna keep putting things in a way that's gonna continue to take away jobs. And AI by itself, it said AI by itself is going to disrupt 1 million jobs. 1 million. That's going to displace a lot of people. And that's a lot of people who's going to need what? They're going to need income. They're going to need money to come in. So it's either they have to change jobs or you'll just be displaced. You won't be in the job market whatsoever. You'll be a person that's staying at home getting universal basic income. Shit is wild, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to digest. So, you know.
I love how you put that, brother. Let me add that second part to that question. Do you think there's any type of integration or anything that, you know, us of us that have trades should be on the lookout for, trying to integrate with AI or crypto to try to, you know, make sure to secure that spot of staying around in the future?
Great question. I would say everybody who has a trade or anybody, period, right? I wouldn't even just limit it to people who have a trade, but this kind of is directed to you. So if you have a trade right now, right, and you're in that field, you work with your hands, right? You have a certain skill set that cannot be ultimately quickly replaced by technology, right? You have an advantage. But after a while, things get streamlined, a lot of things progress, and they come up with resolves to that, right? Because the whole ordeal is for tech to take over. It's almost like on some iRobot type shit. So when you think about things like this, now you have to critically think, what can I do that will keep me 5 steps ahead of this technology happening? So even if you still have your skill set, now you have to kind of figure out, how can I benefit from my skill set in a digital aspect? Because now think about it, shit, you might be the person that comes up with a way where you come up with software. You're let's say you're a plumber, right? But let's say you come up with an idea or software that you can plug into a robot, right? That now the robot can do what you do, right? It knows how to, it has different attachments. It knows how to unscrew certain things. It knows how to fix certain things. And you created that. So now you turned a tangible service into a material product through software, and it's all digital. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's weird, and it's kind of hard to kind of like just kind of blandly lay it out, but you have to figure out a way to position yourself where you're always a couple steps ahead from the technology that's beginning to emerge, right? Research what's going on in that industry when it comes to trading or software, or what technological advancements are right now happening. And then you figure out how you can stay ahead of that, or how you can at least implement it into something that you're doing.
Word. Appreciate that, my brother.
Yeah, no doubt. Bless. Appreciate that. Good question. Yeah, so I know this call it's a little bit off target from what we had. Of course, we touched on the Binance situation and what the SEC is doing. But I just want you guys to understand, truthfully, it's gonna continue to happen. So we're gonna always cover these on .connects. Just so you guys are kind of abreast of what's going on. I know a lot of times, everybody has their everyday lives, right? So you may not sit in crypto and be caught up on all the latest news, all the latest events, things that's going on that's going to affect you, because you don't really have the bandwidth, or you may not have the time, right? I get it. But you cannot be 1 foot in and 1 foot out in crypto. You have to be both foot in. So even if you take 20 minutes, 30 minutes of your day and you go search, Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, or just even if you just Google something and you're just like, hey, what's going on in crypto? You at least find out. You can go on Reuters. Cointelegraph is one of my favorite sites. I use that just as a reference, but I'm always on crypto Twitter. So in that space, I'm getting news 1 million miles a minute, 24 hours a day. So everybody that's in the Discord, I know sometimes y'all see me posting at 2, 3 in the morning. I hope my chimes ain't getting nobody in trouble. But I like, I'm a night owl, and you got to think, when it's the time here for people to be asleep, the other side of the world is just now waking up. They're fully operational. So everybody on, that's East, they're just now getting up. So a lot of things that's happening, you get that news in real time. So I'm trying to make sure you guys have that value. So a lot of times, you're not receiving information super late. So at least when you wake up, listen, what's going on. You could be getting ready, brushing your teeth, getting ready for work. You see what's going on. All right, Champ dropped this, Steve dropped this. And then now at least you got your daily dose of your crypto. So just for the most part, man, I want you guys to stay tuned to everything that's going on. I'm not gonna hold you guys for long. Actually, we were supposed to do this, and it was supposed to cut off at 1 hour. But I'm glad Steve joined tonight and he got on and got to rock with you guys and talk to y'all. So I definitely appreciate all y'all being here on the call. I'm going to drop the link one more time. And Twitty is definitely home team. So anybody who needs information for that, you definitely can reach out to Twitty for that. And listen, man, just more engagement. That's the only thing we ask. I know you guys are busy. I know you guys got your own things going on and everything doesn't revolve around crypto, but you're in this space for a reason. You know what I mean? You're part of this university for a reason. This is not by happenstance. You're here early because you're part of the 4% of the population in the world, you know what I mean, who's early, and you're trying to position yourself so that you're setting your family up for what's to come. These times are going to get nasty. Recession is going to happen, bank runs, more hacks, more cyber attacks. They're talking about blackouts and Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum. They're talking about hitting the grid, and they said it only takes two grids, two plants across the whole grid. It'll cause a blackout throughout the whole world. But these guys are already anticipating it. They told you this months and months and months ago. They said the last situation, you guys know what I'm talking about. They said that whole situation was going to pale in comparison. It was going to look like child's play. So when we told you guys what to do, putting your crypto assets off these exchanges, putting them on cold storage devices, getting EMP static electromagnetic bags, all of that type of stuff. This isn't, we're not just telling you guys this stuff for no reason. We're putting y'all on game so that you guys are properly prepared. And then once things happen, everything materializes, lights come back on. Listen, it's going to be a different ball game. And I'm telling you, those who are in, you good. You're going to be in, you're going to be set. Brad going to be there. You're going to be good.
Champ, what is those EMF bags? I'm sorry. I don't know.
I got you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop, let me see if I can find them real quick. Matter of fact, we had them in the previous chat. When I drop the link to this, I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put the link in the description. I'll do that for y'all.
Thank you so much for caring so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Listen, I know the game. I know what it feels like to invest so much and lose it all and have to start all over again. Like, it's sickening, especially when you're ambitious and like, I teach this. So before we had the university, I was doing this for free. I was literally doing this for my soldiers. Like, that was side by side with me in a sandbox. I'm spending hours, 15, 16 hours a day, anytime I could get, reading, researching something, looking up things so that I could be able to get that value, telling people to invest in crypto. And here we are 8 years later. So it's like, yo, it's a sick feeling to lose everything and have to build it back. I'm telling you, when that XRP loss took me out, 100,000 XRP gone. And just think about that. Right, we talking about on the low end what the price could be, and you see people saying $3 to $5. Do the math. That's $500,000.